Lockheed Martin is having a tough year, losing out on new Air Force and Navy fighter contract opportunities in March, and then announcing $1.6 billion in quarter two losses in July.
In the competitive and tightly controlled arena of military aviation, secrecy has always served as both a protective shield and a competitive advantage. When it comes to the SR-72, codenamed Darkstar, rumor and reality have often run side by side since Lockheed Martin's Skunk works first publicly unveiled its concept in 2013. Unlike its storied predecessor, the SR-71 Blackbird, the SR-72 has always been presented less as a direct continuation and more as an evolutionary leap. In an era where speed, data, and survivability intersect, the arguments justifying the SR-72's existence have grown ever more compelling. Over the years, the program has been the subject of intense speculation. What was, for much of the last decade, speculative and carefully managed messaging has, according to credible Pentagon sources, shifted recently toward substantive and measured indications of real progress with Lockheed Martin's expertise and an advancing development timetable. The SR-72 stands poised to redefine what rapid, survivable reconnaissance and intelligence collection means in a geopolitical landscape increasingly characterized by sophisticated air defenses, integrated sensor networks, and emerging near-peer threats. Today, we examine what is actually known about the SR-72's status, what has motivated its design and projected missions, and why recent signals hint at an accelerated path toward flight testing. We'll also explore the strategic logic at the heart of the Pentagon's renewed focus on ultra-fast, survivable aircraft and assess where the SR-72 fits into the evolving picture of global military intelligence and air dominance. A legacy of speed, SR-71 to SR-72. Understanding the urgency around the SR-72 begins with recognizing the legacy it builds upon. Lockheed Martin's Skunk works, renowned for decades of innovation, first stunned the world in the 1960s with the SR-71 Blackbird, capable of cruising at speeds above Mach 3 and altitudes that put it out of reach of most air defenses of its time. The Blackbird was a critical asset during the Cold War. Its speed and altitude allowed it to outfly interceptors and surface-to-air missiles, providing U.S. leaders with invaluable real-time imagery and signals intelligence over denied territory. Yet, as advances in stealth, satellites, and remote sensing matured, the operational importance of high-speed, high-altitude manned reconnaissance shifted. The eventual retirement of the SR-71 in the late 20th century reflected not its failure as a platform, but a change in how intelligence was gathered and utilized. Even so, the legacy of the Blackbird has never been far from the minds of defense planners, who periodically revisit the question: has a capability gap opened in the wake of advancing adversary air defense and sensor networks? The SR-72, in both concept and justification, seeks to address two core imperatives: the survivability of reconnaissance platforms in an environment of increasing anti-access threats, and the need for immediate, globally deployable intelligence. First, survivability. While stealth reduces detectability, it is not a panacea. Adversary radar and electronic warfare are constantly improving. Fast aircraft can simply spend less time within the lethal range of air defense systems. High speed reduces the window of vulnerability between detection and engagement, thereby increasing survivability even in heavily defended airspace. Second, urgency. In modern conflicts, the time required to access up-to-date intelligence can spell the difference between escalation and de-escalation. An aircraft that can traverse continental distances at hypersonic speeds compresses the cycle of intelligence gathering and response, enabling national and battlefield decision-makers to act on near real-time data. Thus, the SR-72 concept is grounded not in nostalgia, but in updated strategic requirements. In an age riddled with unpredictable crises and rapid adversary maneuver, speed has returned as a decisive factor. Lockheed Martin's strategic gamble, betting on hypersonics. Lockheed Martin's decision to publicly reveal plans for the SR-72 in 2013 marked the start of a new chapter in hypersonic aviation. Marketed as the future of intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance (ISR), the SR-72 is intended to achieve speeds exceeding Mach 6, double that of the SR-71, by leveraging emerging advances in propulsion and materials. From the outset, the company emphasized the importance of speed as the next strategic differentiator. According to publicly available statements, the SR-72 was never intended as a mere upgrade, but as a transformative platform uniting hypersonic propulsion, advanced materials, and next-generation avionics. Lockheed Martin's 2018 announcements, which confirmed ongoing work and stated that a prototype could fly very soon, were both a strategic signal and an indicator of progress. The company also suggested the aim to have a test vehicle ready by 2025. Key to achieving these targets are three primary technical challenges. 1. Propulsion. Achieving reliable, sustained hypersonic flight demands innovation in engine technology. Public indications and statements from program officials point to a turbine-based combined cycle engine, capable of operating as a conventional turbine up to high supersonic speeds, then transitioning to a scramjet at hypersonic velocities. Mastering this seamless transition remains essential to operational hypersonic flight. 2. Thermal management and materials. Speeds above Mach 6 present enormous thermal challenges. The SR-71's titanium skin and innovative fuel-based cooling set a high bar in the 1960s. Today, the SR-72 is believed to incorporate state-of-the-art composites and alloys, combined with advanced cooling methods that allow for safe operation at extreme temperatures. 3. Data and avionics. Hypersonic flight affects both onboard and external data transmission. Avionics must withstand heating and electromagnetic effects, while sensor systems must be capable of collecting, storing, and transmitting information at extreme velocities and altitudes. Maintaining secure, high-bandwidth data links under these conditions is a fundamental requirement for a modern ISR platform. Each of these technical fronts pushes at the limits of current aerospace engineering. Notably, Lockheed's public timeline, concept reveal in 2013, progress update in 2018, and test vehicle by 2025 reflects steady, if challenging, advancement. Activity at key Skunk Works facilities and increased hiring for specialized roles in hypersonics and advanced materials further indicate a sustained push toward operational capability. The combined effect of these efforts is a platform that, if realized as designed, would mark a decisive leap in reconnaissance capabilities, enabling operations at speeds that place it beyond reach of current and projected air defenses. Pentagon posture. Accelerating the future. Inside the Pentagon, strategic interest in platforms like the SR-72 has become more pronounced as both Russian and Chinese defense programs continue redoubling efforts to deploy advanced multi-layered air defense and missile systems. Recent reporting and Pentagon-aligned analyses suggest a recalibration of resources and priorities, emphasizing the value of extreme speed as a form of survivability. Resource allocation reflects this renewed focus. Funds and engineering talent have been shifted toward future-focused, high-velocity initiatives, reinforcing the role of the SR-72 alongside other sixth-generation combat aircraft and unmanned systems. These moves have not gone unnoticed, with defense observers and trade publications noting a transfer of emphasis away from some legacy reconnaissance assets. One critical driver is the operational gap left by the aging U-2 and the retirement of the SR-71. While satellites provide global coverage, their predictability and periodicity impose constraints. Drones offer persistence, but are vulnerable in dense air defense environments. The Pentagon's implicit goal is to regain a level of flexible, near-instantaneous access that only a hypersonic manned platform can provide. Another driver is doctrinal adaptation to near-peer threats. Both U.S. doctrine and open commentary acknowledge the rapid pace of adversary air defense and hypersonic weapons development as competitors develop their own fast, stealthy, high-flying assets. the Pentagon seeks to retain operational overmatch through speed, advanced networking, and rapid intelligence dissemination. Press analyses and defense essays, such as those in Sandbox News, have speculated on the possibility of the SR-72 entering some form of production or advanced prototyping. While the classified nature of the program demands careful skepticism toward unverified reports, the consistency of open-source signals supports the contention that the program is progressing steadily. In summary, multiple developments, shifts in funding, doctrinal updates, and intensified technical activity suggest that the Pentagon views hypersonic survivability as central to future air dominance and that the SR-72 represents a critical node in that evolving strategy. A new kind of survivability, speed as shield. For decades, the prevailing logic in aircraft survivability centered on stealth, making platforms hard to see, track, or target. However, the continued evolution of radar, sensor fusion, and electronic warfare tools has created environments in which stealth margins are less absolute. In response, speed is now being reconstructed as an equally important, and in some settings superior, survivability mechanism. The SR-71 program provided ample historical precedent. Its only viable defense was velocity. Its record of evading interception by simply outrunning threats continues to shape military thinking. The SR-72's mission concept, sustained flight at Mach 6 or higher, seeks to replicate and substantially multiply this advantage. At such speeds, a platform has a window of vulnerability so brief that effective engagement by air defense becomes extremely difficult. Key features of this survivability approach include reduced engagement window. At hypersonic velocity, engagement times for even the fastest interceptor missiles shrink to mere seconds. The practical consequence is that hostile systems may detect an intruder, but be unable to cue, launch, and guide interceptors before the aircraft has traversed the threat environment. Dynamic flight path. Although specific profiles remain classified, a hypersonic reconnaissance aircraft would likely leverage unpredictable routing and rapid altitude or directional shifts, further complicating adversary tracking and targeting. Minimized dependence on electronic countermeasures. At these speeds, reliance on jamming or spoofing is reduced. Kinematics alone can defeat many engagement envelopes, providing a robust and simple form of survivability. It is also important, however, to recognize trade-offs inherent in this approach. Extreme speeds limit loiter time over targets, impose significant operational costs, and demand advanced maintenance support. Nonetheless, the core logic is clear. Combining speed with survivability not only increases intelligence access, but also drives a change in adversary resource allocation and air defense strategy. Rethinking intelligence, from hourly updates to instant awareness. The emergence of the SR-72 also signals a shift in the tempo and reliability of intelligence collection. Traditional reconnaissance platforms and satellites, while offering broad coverage, are subject to timing constraints. Scheduled orbital passes and long flight durations mean that coverage can be intermittent, creating exploitable gaps. The SR-72, as outlined by Lockheed Martin and referenced in Pentagon and think tank reporting, is designed to compress the intelligence cycle dramatically. Key aspects of this vision include rapid global reach. The capability to fly from New York to Los Angeles in under an hour, as reported, is emblematic of the platform's potential. This translates globally into the ability to conduct reconnaissance nearly anywhere in the world, deliver intelligence within operationally meaningful timeframes, and return before adversaries can meaningfully react. Real-time data transmission. Advanced data links, likely via highly encrypted satellite relays, are at the heart of the design. The expectation is that information collected during hypersonic flight can be relayed for analysis immediately, closing the gap between collection and action. On-demand operations. Unlike predictable satellite orbits, a hypersonic aircraft can be launched in response to emerging crises, giving decision-makers the ability to direct intelligence assets with unprecedented flexibility. The effect is to substantially diminish adversary sanctuary, the notion that certain actions or deployments can escape observation for even an hour. Such capabilities support both deterrence and crisis management. If US commanders can count on near-instantaneous updates over any contested region, operational and diplomatic options multiply. Strategic ambiguity about US intelligence capability is thus replaced by a more assertive posture. The broader context, hypersonics, the sixth generation, and the new arms race. Developments around the SR-72 do not occur in isolation. Across the globe, investments in hypersonic missiles, advanced aircraft, and integrated air defenses have inaugurated a new phase of military technological competition. US efforts in this space are increasingly described as sixth generation, with next-generation fighters projected to operate at or above Mach 2 and feature deeply networked AI-enabled systems. Platforms like the SR-72 are both products and initiators of this arms cycle. Should the SR-72 achieve its operational ambitions, it would establish a new benchmark in airspeed and operational reach, prompting adversaries to invest in new interceptor and sensor technologies. This dynamic shapes both immediate tactical questions and long-term strategic postures. On the one hand, a hypersonic reconnaissance platform increases national security and strengthens deterrence. On the other, it may accelerate counter-development among competitors, feeding into an intensifying cycle of advancement. The US approach, therefore, is necessarily multi-pronged, balancing investment in rapid, survivable platforms with continued innovation in stealth, unmanned systems, and electronic warfare. Interoperability is central. Platforms like the SR-72 are developed not as standalone capabilities, but as integral nodes within a larger architecture of sensors, shooters, and command systems. It is within this context, one of rapid technological evolution, strategic necessity, and competitive pressure, that recent Pentagon posture and Lockheed Martin timelines must be evaluated. The gathering storm. What if it flies tomorrow? While many program details remain classified, signs point to real progress. When Lockheed Martin presented its goals of a test vehicle by 2025, these were considered ambitious today. With indications of increased activity and focused resource allocation, it appears that timelines may indeed be accelerating, though specifics remain closely held. The potential advent of the SR-72 marks more than just a technical milestone. It could reset expectations for global intelligence collection and strategic responsiveness as the United States moves closer to fielding, or at least flight testing, such a capability. Adversaries are compelled to reconsider long-standing assumptions about airspace control and the predictability of US surveillance. Timing is everything in military innovation. Delivering an operational SR-72 ahead of expectations would enhance deterrence, disrupt adversary planning, and underscore a US commitment to retaining qualitative technological advantage. Conversely, challenges and delays would serve as reminders of the extraordinary difficulty such a leap entails. Nonetheless, the path forward appears set. Lockheed Martin's Skunk works, seasoned through decades of secretive breakthroughs, continues to hone its edge with each incremental public signal and every indication of quiet momentum behind closed doors. The prospect of the SR-72 moving from drawing board to runway becomes less distant. As we await confirmed reports of its first flight, the consequences for military intelligence and global security are profound. The return of speed as a central pillar of air power, supported by state-of-the-art propulsion and data collection, signals a strategic recalibration with effects that will likely reverberate for decades. The SR-72 Darkstar represents more than an engineering challenge. It is a test of American ambition and strategic foresight. As we move toward a new era in aviation, every indication of its approaching flight serves as a reminder that advances in speed can reshape global security frameworks almost overnight. Whether it takes wing tomorrow or in the years ahead, the SR-72 is emblematic of a renewed focus on the rapid, the responsive, and the survivable. Keep watch as this remarkable chapter in aerospace unfolds. The horizon may soon be marked by the unmistakable trace of the fastest aircraft ever conceived.